Mission 8 can be consistent mission if half of your executions are done right. First of all, you're going to start with hitting 2 spheres, starting with the left side. You don't have to disable the lock on there if the mage spawns, because if you reach there, the mage will automatically despawn if you're close to the object. However, you have to be mindful of vendetta range, since its hitbox can be janked. The cutscene you also saw here earlier is delayed. You can still skip it, you just have to wait for a bit. Do the sphere cycle correctly. If you don't do the sphere cycles correctly, you can just mash the dodge button in order to trigger the next fight. Right here, immediately jump at the Savage Golem and do this particular combo. On the last combo, you're going to delay your stinger a bit in order to one-cycle it. After that, chase down the demon statue. There are 3 of them. It can be RNG because sometimes all of them will approach to you at once. The reason why you need to save killing the last Savage Golem at the end is because the despawn of Savage Golem is a lot faster than the demon statue. This fight is RNG heavy for getting the perfect start. The initial spawn of larva is 3. What you want to happen is to kill the first hatch that the moth immediately drops before getting swallowed to build up the margin double trigger. Then pray that the moth won't drop any extra hatches during that. Although the RNG can screw you up for the start on larva not wanting to eat you. If it doesn't eat you, you need to pay attention to the moth won't dropping any hatches. If it drops, ready up your ebony and ivory to shoot it. Mashing triangle while rotating your stick is the fastest way to get out of larva. It also helps to press some buttons at the start beforehand. Transform right away after you break free. Kill the moth, followed by the larva. This is where it gets a little bit complicated. Use all of your firewalls until the silver of your DT to use the Leviathan laser. This should kill all the initial larva, but unfortunately the moth managed to spawn 1 extra larva off screen. Use Vital Star after that immediately. I got green orb there, I got lucky. I thought I nailed down perfectly, which I don't need to use Vital Star. But unfortunately I got extra larva. At that point you have to pray where all of the larvas do the same pattern which swallows you. If you get all of that just like that, then you got the perfect pattern. Otherwise, tough luck. If you're dealing with that, using 1-2-3 Stinger or Round Trip is the fastest way to deal with them. Let's recap. Kill the hatch before he gets swallowed. During the margin build-up, you gotta pray that the moth doesn't hatch any extra larva. Once you transform, kill the moth and shoot the larva until the silver DT gauge. Use the laser. This should kill all the initial 3 spawns. If you get the 4th one, then that's tough luck. Use the Vital Star immediately after that, and pray that the rest of the larvas will behave. Right, so 5 larvas is perfect RNG, which means no spawn. 6 larva is okay. Anything more than that, it's pretty rough. That's how mission 10 is. You're mostly going to pray in this fight, really. But if you've done it right, you'll still get a good time with it. Still better than dealing with a chopper RNG. Right, after I finish with this making tutorial, I'll make a note for the endgame time IGT or RTA for getting a really decent segment per mission, so you could use this as a reference whether you've done well or not. This is important. Now that we're moving on in mission 11, your buy list generally going to be just the purple orb. However, if you've done the orb manipulation as your orb route in general being strong, you get a devil star for the next mission advantage. Other than that, I'd recommend you to go with only purple orb for now. until you're ready to push the game further. There is one important movement that I keep forgetting after this door, which is positioning Dante correctly and you straight up land here. I keep forgetting to do that in my runs. Check how I timed the jump here. Very, very important. One thing that I keep seeing very, very common in Mission 11 is that people hold the stick and they accidentally get a wall pike run or something like that. Do not hold the stick, adjust jump take position before you smash the circle button. Easy movement here. For the spike section, don't forget the lesson that you have learned from the million step. For this puzzle section, you can easily skip it with air raid. Once you're past that, you're going to come across the infamous Bulwark. Bulwark is not that complicated of a boss, it's more of how you execute the fight, especially during the air raid stage. Because the strategy right here, you spam round trip till death, and you need to readjust every single time after one round trip hit. The dogs can mess you up, but there are a couple of key things that you need to be wary of against this boss. First thing you'll notice that Bulwark is extremely reactionary boss. Whatever you do, he will react to it. So for example, if you try to hit him once or twice, like charging up to him, he will backdash continuously. That's why you want to trap him in the corner. And if you shoot him, he will react with his stinger. Another thing is that some of the players makes a critical mistake while trying to round trip Bulwark. If you do forward while holding R1 and triangle at the same time at this state, Dante will exit the air raid and he will do Helmbreaker instead. So flick your stick forward once while trying to move in against Bulwark. Keep your lock on held in all the time. Another thing you need to pay attention while doing round trip is that Bulwark does one of his two animation of blocking. If you hit him during that, he will teleport behind you and he will do his own Helmbreaker. So watch out for that. If he does that, wait for a bit. That's the other animation of him blocking. Now that we talked about the key awareness against this boss, let's talk about how we approach him. The first scenario, Bulwark will be standing still on the throne chair, which will force you to go up to him and you go into the round trip state where you could slap him till death. The second scenario is where Bulwark wants to get down and he wants to either stinger or melee you immediately. Same result can happen if you reach on him as soon as possible. However, did you see what the dog did there? He can actually screw you up and you need to readjust yourself when you want to make Bulwark stuck in the loop. That's two main difference. However, the same thing can happen with the throne, with the how Bulwark moves around. If you're close to run out of DT while Bulwark HP pool is extremely high, go back to your human form and do 1, 2, 3 high time. And if you get some of the DT, slap a little bit of DT stingers. Let's recap. When the fight starts, reach the Bulwark as soon as possible. During the air raid, do not press melee and stick at the same time, which forces Dante out of air raid. Pay attention to Bulwark animation when he blocks, which either he does the normal one or the spinny spin. Don't use up all of your DT if several of your round trips were bad. Go back to your human form, do 1, 2, 3 high time, then start spamming Stinger. I'll explain the Flame Heart bug further on Mission 14. That being said, let's take a look at Picture Perfect Fight Bulwark again, because this is how you want it to be done. Regardless of where Bulwark starts, this is the end result that you want. That being said, we've covered mission 10 and 11. I was planning to cover 12 at the same time, but that'll be too much for this video length. I wanted to make sure each of my videos average are 10 minutes. On the next one, I'll be covering mission 12 and 13.